Have you ever wondered why two people can face the exact same challenge, yet one rises stronger while the other gives up? It isn't because one is luckier. It isn't because one was born with extraordinary talent. The difference begins with one invisible force that shapes every decision, every action, and every result: your mindset. The greatest victories in life are won long before they become visible to the world. They are first created inside the human mind. The moment you believe that success is possible, your brain starts searching for opportunities instead of excuses. But the moment you convince yourself that you can't, your mind begins building walls instead of bridges. Your future isn't written by your circumstances. It is written by the thoughts you repeat every single day. Today you have a choice. You can continue allowing fear, doubt, and negativity to dictate your future, or you can take control of your mind and completely transform the direction of your life. Because the quality of your life will never exceed the quality of your thinking. Most people misunderstand positive thinking. They believe it's about pretending problems don't exist or forcing a fake smile when life gets difficult. That's not positive thinking. Positive thinking is the ability to believe that every obstacle contains an opportunity. It's choosing to focus on solutions instead of limitations. Life will always present challenges. You will lose. You will fail. You will experience rejection. You will have moments where nothing seems to go your way. The question isn't whether difficulties will come. They absolutely will. The real question is who you become when they arrive. Winners don't have fewer problems than everyone else. They simply refuse to let those problems define them. They understand that every setback carries a lesson, every failure teaches wisdom, and every disappointment prepares them for something greater. Positive thinking isn't denying reality. It's deciding that reality is not the final chapter of your story. Your brain is one of the most powerful tools ever created. It constantly looks for evidence to support whatever you believe. If you wake up every morning telling yourself that life is unfair, your mind will find proof everywhere. You'll notice every obstacle, every disappointment, every reason to quit. But if you wake up believing that opportunities surround you, your brain begins searching for possibilities instead. Suddenly, you notice ideas you ignored before. You recognize doors that were always there, but hidden behind negative thinking. This is why your beliefs shape your reality. Change what you expect, and you begin changing what you experience. The world itself may remain the same, but your perception changes everything. The opportunities were always there. You simply couldn't see them through the lens of doubt. Every extraordinary achievement in history started as an impossible idea inside someone's mind. Before anyone believed in it, one person believed first. Think about the entrepreneurs who built billion-dollar companies, the athletes who shattered records, the inventors who changed the world, and the leaders who inspired generations. None of them began with certainty. They began with belief. They believed in a future that nobody else could see. Positive thinking gave them the courage to continue when others laughed, criticized, and predicted failure. Success belongs to those who refuse to surrender their vision simply because others cannot understand it. The greatest limitation isn't lack of resources. It isn't lack of education. It isn't lack of connections. The greatest limitation is believing that your current situation is permanent. The moment you believe you can grow, you begin moving toward growth. Fear is one of the greatest thieves of human potential. It whispers that you're not good enough. It convinces you to wait until you're more confident, more experienced, or more prepared. But confidence doesn't come before action. It comes because of action. Positive thinkers understand that courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is moving forward despite fear. Every successful person you've ever admired experienced doubt. Every champion felt nervous before stepping onto the stage. Every leader questioned themselves at some point. The difference is they refused to let fear make their decisions. They understood that fear is temporary, but regret can last a lifetime. Don't wait until you feel fearless. Start moving now, and your confidence will grow with every step you take. Your environment has a tremendous influence on your thinking. If you surround yourself with people who constantly complain, criticize, and expect failure, negativity becomes normal. Eventually, you begin thinking like the people you spend the most time with. But if you surround yourself with ambitious, optimistic, disciplined individuals who believe in growth, something incredible happens. Their mindset becomes contagious. Their energy pushes you higher. Their belief strengthens your own. This is why successful people carefully protect their environment. They feed their minds with books that inspire them, conversations that challenge them, and ideas that expand their vision. Your future is influenced by what enters your mind every day. Guard it carefully because your thoughts become your habits become your actions, and your actions become your destiny. Gratitude is one of the fastest ways to transform your perspective. It's impossible to feel deeply grateful and hopeless at the same time. Gratitude shifts your attention from what's missing to what's already present. It reminds you of your strengths instead of your weaknesses. It teaches your brain to recognize abundance instead of scarcity. Every morning, before you focus on everything you still want, remember everything you've already survived. Remember the battles you've overcome. Remember the people who believed in you. Remember the opportunities you've been given. Gratitude doesn't make you complacent. It fuels confidence. When you appreciate where you are, you gain the strength to pursue where you're going. A grateful heart creates a powerful mind, and a powerful mind creates extraordinary results. Success doesn't happen because of one massive breakthrough. It happens because of thousands of small decisions made consistently over time. Positive thinking fuels consistency. When you believe your efforts matter, you're willing to continue even when results aren't immediate. Most people quit because they expect instant rewards. They plant a seed and become frustrated when it doesn't become a tree overnight. But every meaningful achievement requires patience. Every dream requires persistence. Positive thinkers understand that today's effort is building tomorrow's success. They trust the process even when progress feels invisible. They know that every disciplined action compounds into something remarkable. Small victories repeated daily eventually create extraordinary lives. The words you speak to yourself matter more than the opinions of the world. You can silence critics, avoid negativity, and escape difficult situations, but you cannot escape your own inner voice. If that voice constantly reminds you of failures, your mistakes, and your limitations, you'll carry negativity everywhere you go. But if your inner voice becomes your greatest coach instead of your greatest enemy, everything changes. Replace "I can't" with "I'll find a way." Replace "I'm not ready" with "I'm learning." Replace "this is impossible" with "this is my opportunity to grow." Your identity is built through repetition. Every sentence you repeat becomes part of the person you believe yourself to be. Choose your words wisely because your future is listening. There will be days when motivation disappears. There will be mornings when getting out of bed feels difficult. There will be moments when life tests every ounce of your determination. During those moments, positive thinking becomes more than a mindset. It becomes a decision. You decide that temporary pain will not stop permanent progress. You decide that one bad day does not define your future. You decide that failure is feedback, not defeat. You decide that your dream is worth fighting for regardless of how long it takes. Those decisions separate average lives from extraordinary ones. Every champion has days when they don't feel motivated. They simply refuse to let emotions become excuses. Remember this: success is not attracted to negativity. Success is attracted to people who believe, act, adapt, and persevere. Your thoughts become your actions. Your actions become your habits. Your habits become your character. And your character ultimately determines your destiny. Every great transformation begins with a single thought that says, "I believe I can." Protect that thought. Feed it every day. Strengthen it with action. Refuse to let temporary failures destroy permanent dreams. Because the life you've imagined isn't waiting for someone else. It's waiting for the moment you fully believe you're capable of creating it. The moment you master your mind, you begin mastering your future. And when you combine positive thinking with relentless action, there is absolutely no limit to what you can become. Success is never created by accident. It begins with a single thought that grows into a belief that becomes an action, and an action that eventually becomes a habit. Every person who has ever achieved greatness first changed the way they viewed themselves and the world around them. Before they had the results, they had the mindset. Most people spend their lives trying to change their circumstances while ignoring the one thing that controls those circumstances: their thinking. If your mind is filled with doubt, fear, and negativity, you'll naturally hesitate, avoid risks, and settle for less than you're capable of achieving. But when your mind is filled with confidence, hope, and possibility, you begin to approach every challenge differently. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "How can this make me stronger?" That simple shift changes everything. The quality of your life will always reflect the quality of your mindset. Think about two people standing in front of the exact same opportunity. One sees endless possibilities, while the other sees endless reasons why it won't work. The opportunity itself hasn't changed. The difference lies entirely in the way each person thinks. One believes success is possible, so they take action despite uncertainty. The other expects failure, so they hesitate until the opportunity disappears. This is how mindset silently shapes destiny every single day. It influences the choices you make, the risks you're willing to take, the people you surround yourself with, and even the way you respond to failure. Every major decision in your life is filtered through your beliefs. If those beliefs are empowering, your future expands. If they're limiting, your future shrinks before you've even begun. Your destiny is not determined by what happens to you. It is determined by how you think about what happens to you. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that successful individuals were simply born with extraordinary confidence. The truth is, confidence is rarely something you're born with. It's something you build by repeatedly choosing belief over fear. Every successful entrepreneur, athlete, artist, or leader has experienced moments of uncertainty. They questioned themselves. They faced rejection. They encountered setbacks that made quitting seem like the easiest option, but they refused to allow temporary circumstances to define their permanent identity. They understood that every challenge was shaping them into someone stronger. Instead of seeing failure as proof they weren't good enough, they saw it as evidence that they were learning. That mindset allowed them to keep moving while others stopped. Success doesn't belong to the fearless. It belongs to those who refuse to let fear become the author of their story. Your thoughts have incredible power because they influence your emotions, and your emotions influence your actions. Imagine waking up every morning telling yourself that nothing ever works out for you. Before the day even begins, you've already programmed your mind to expect disappointment. You'll notice every inconvenience, every obstacle, and every mistake because your brain naturally searches for evidence to support what you already believe. Now imagine starting your day by reminding yourself that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, every setback contains a lesson, and every new day offers another chance to improve. Suddenly your focus changes, your energy changes, your decisions change, and over time, those decisions completely reshape your future. You become what you consistently think because your mind influences every action you take. Many people wait for success before deciding to believe in themselves, but that's completely backwards. Belief always comes first. You must see the possibility before the results appear. Farmers don't dig up seeds every week to check if they're growing. They trust the process. They continue watering, protecting, and nurturing what they've planted because they know growth happens beneath the surface long before it becomes visible. Your dreams work the same way. There will be seasons when nothing seems to change. There will be moments when your efforts feel unnoticed and your progress feels invisible. Those are the moments when mindset matters most. If you continue believing, continue learning, and continue taking action, the results will eventually catch up to your commitment. Great achievements are built by people who refuse to abandon their vision simply because success takes longer than expected. The most powerful transformation you'll ever experience doesn't happen when your bank account grows, when your career improves, or when others begin recognizing your success. It happens the moment you realize that you are the author of your own destiny. Your mindset is the pen, and every decision you make writes another sentence in the story of your life. Every morning gives you an opportunity to choose courage instead of comfort, hope instead of fear, growth instead of excuses, and belief instead of doubt. Those choices may seem small in the moment, but repeated consistently over weeks, months, and years, they create extraordinary lives. The people who inspire the world are not those who never face difficulties. They are the ones who refuse to let difficulties control the way they thought. Master your mindset, and you begin mastering your future long before anyone else can see the results. Every person faces problems. There is no life without obstacles, setbacks, disappointments, or unexpected challenges. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck is not the number of problems they face. It is where they choose to focus their attention. Most people become consumed by the size of the obstacle. They spend hours complaining, blaming circumstances, or wishing life were easier. But successful people understand a powerful truth: every minute spent focusing on the problem is a minute stolen from finding the solution. They train their minds to ask better questions. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" they ask, "What can I learn from this?" Instead of asking, "Who is to blame?" they ask, "What is my next move?" Those simple questions shift their energy from helplessness to action. The moment you stop feeding your problems with attention and start feeding your solutions with effort, your life begins to move in a completely different direction. Imagine standing at the bottom of a mountain that seems impossible to climb. One person looks at the steep path, becomes overwhelmed, and decides it's too difficult. Another person looks at the exact same mountain, but focuses only on taking the next step. They don't waste energy worrying about the entire journey. They simply commit to moving forward one step at a time. Eventually, that person reaches the summit while the first person never leaves the ground. Life works the same way. Problems often appear bigger than they truly are because we try to solve everything at once. We allow fear to magnify the challenge until it feels impossible. But when you focus on the next action instead of the entire obstacle, you gain momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence fuels persistence. And persistence eventually produces success. Great achievements are not built by solving every problem overnight. They are built by solving one challenge after another with determination and patience. One of the greatest habits you can develop is learning to control your emotional response when difficulties appear. Most people react emotionally before they think logically. They panic, become frustrated, or immediately assume the worst. Those emotions cloud judgment and make even small obstacles feel overwhelming. Successful people experience the same emotions, but they refuse to let emotions become the driver of their decisions. They pause, breathe, and remind themselves the crap has a solution waiting to be discovered. They understand that panic has never solved a single challenge, but calm thinking has solved thousands. The ability to remain focused under pressure is one of the greatest competitive advantages anyone can develop. When everyone else is losing control, your ability to stay composed allows you to see opportunities hidden inside the difficulty. Problems often contain solutions that only become visible when your mind remains clear enough to recognize them. History is filled with people who transformed enormous obstacles into extraordinary opportunities because they refused to become victims of their circumstances. Every groundbreaking invention solved a problem that once seemed impossible. Every successful business was created because someone identified a challenge and decided to solve it better than anyone else. Every inspiring comeback story began with a setback that could have ended someone's dream. These individuals did not wait for perfect conditions. They accepted that problems are part of progress. Instead of asking life to remove every obstacle, they developed the strength, creativity, and resilience needed to overcome them. Their success was never about avoiding hardship. It was about becoming the kind of person who could rise above it. The same opportunity exists for you. Every challenge you face today is preparing you for responsibilities and victories that your current version of yourself is still growing into. Many people unknowingly become experts at explaining why something cannot be done. They collect excuses, repeat limiting beliefs, and convince themselves that their circumstances are unique. But excuses never create breakthroughs. Excuses only create comfort while quietly stealing your potential. Solution-focused people operate differently. They may not know exactly how everything will work out, but they trust that there is always another strategy, another lesson, another possibility waiting to be explored. They understand that failure is information, not a final destination. If one approach doesn't work, they adjust and try another. They remain flexible without abandoning their goal. Every obstacle becomes valuable feedback instead of permanent defeat. This mindset transforms challenges from roadblocks into stepping stones because every problem solved increases confidence, experience, and wisdom for the next challenge ahead. As you continue your journey towards success, remember that life will never stop presenting problems. New levels bring new challenges, greater dreams require greater responsibility, and bigger goals demand stronger character. The question is not whether difficulties will appear, they certainly will. The real question is what you choose to focus on when they do. Will you give your attention to fear, frustration, and excuses, or will you direct your energy towards solutions, growth, and action? Every time you choose the solution over the problem, you strengthen your mindset. Every challenge you overcome builds resilience that cannot be taught in any classroom. Over time, you become someone who no longer fears obstacles because you understand that every problem carries within it the opportunity to become wiser, stronger, and more capable than you were before. The people who achieve extraordinary success are not those with the easiest lives. They are the ones who consistently choose solutions over excuses, progress over perfection, and action over fear. Your beliefs are the invisible foundation upon which your entire life is built. Long before success becomes visible to the world, it begins as a belief inside your mind. Every decision you make, every opportunity you pursue, and every challenge you overcome is influenced by what you believe about yourself. If you believe you are capable of learning, growing, and succeeding, you naturally take actions that move you closer to your goals. But if you believe you are limited by your past, your failures, or the opinions of others, those beliefs quietly hold you back without you even realizing it. The most dangerous limitations are not the ones imposed by the outside world, they are the ones created within your own mind. The moment you change what you believe is possible, you begin changing the direction of your entire life. Success always starts on the inside before it ever appears on the outside. Think about a person who believes they are destined to fail. Every challenge becomes proof that they are not good enough. Every mistake feels permanent. Every rejection convinces them to stop trying. Now imagine someone who believes every setback is simply another lesson on the road to success. They experience the same failures, the same disappointments, and the same obstacles, yet they respond completely differently. Instead of quitting, they become curious. Instead of losing confidence, they gain wisdom. Instead of allowing failure to define them, they allow it to refine them. Their belief changes their response, and their response changes their results. Life often reflects back the expectations you carry within yourself. When your beliefs are rooted in growth instead of fear, your actions begin opening doors that once seemed impossible to unlock. Your mind is constantly collecting evidence to support what you already believe. If you repeatedly tell yourself that you are not smart enough, talented enough, or worthy enough, your brain starts filtering every experience through those negative beliefs. It notices your mistakes while ignoring your progress. It remembers your failures while forgetting your victories. This creates a cycle where your beliefs strengthen themselves over time. But the incredible news is that the opposite is also true. When you begin believing that you are capable, resilient, and able to overcome challenges, your mind starts searching for evidence to support those empowering beliefs. You begin recognizing opportunities, celebrating growth, and noticing strengths you once overlooked. This is why changing your beliefs can completely transform the way you experience life. Your reality is heavily influenced by the story you choose to tell yourself every single day. Many of the beliefs holding people back today were never their own to begin with. They were formed by criticism, disappointment, fear, childhood experiences, or the opinions of people who never truly understood their potential. Somewhere along the way, someone said they weren't good enough, and they accepted it as truth. They failed once and believed they would always fail. They compared themselves to others and convinced themselves they could never measure up. But beliefs are not permanent facts. They are choices that can be challenged, replaced, and strengthened. Just because you've believed something for years doesn't mean it has to control your future. The moment you question a limiting belief, you weaken its power. The moment you replace it with an empowering belief and back it with consistent action, you begin creating a completely new identity. Your future should never be limited by beliefs that were created in moments of fear or doubt. Every successful person has reached a point where they had to believe in themselves before anyone else did. There were moments when no one applauded their efforts, no one understood their vision, and no one could guarantee their success. Yet they kept moving forward because their belief was stronger than their uncertainty. They understood that belief is not blind optimism. It is the willingness to act even when the outcome is still unknown. Every great achievement in history was once considered impossible until someone believed otherwise. Those individuals didn't wait for perfect conditions or universal approval. They trusted their purpose, stayed committed to their vision, and allowed their actions to strengthen their beliefs day after day. The confidence they displayed wasn't created by instant success. It was built through repeated acts of courage in the face of uncertainty. As you continue pursuing your dreams, remember that your beliefs are shaping your future every single moment, whether you realize it or not. Every thought you repeat becomes stronger. Every decision you make reinforces the person you are becoming. If you constantly believe that greatness is reserved for others, you will continue living beneath your potential. But if you choose to believe that you are capable of learning, improving, adapting, and achieving extraordinary things, your actions will begin aligning with that belief. Over time, those actions become habits, those habits become your character, and your character creates your destiny. The world may try to define you by your past, your failures, or your circumstances, but the most important definition is the one you give yourself. Believe in growth, believe in possibility, and believe that the person you are becoming is far greater than the person you used to be. That belief has the power to transform not only your future, but every life you inspire along the way. Positive thinking is powerful, but by itself, it will never change your life. Dreams remain dreams if they are not backed by action. Many people spend years reading motivational books, watching inspiring speeches, and imagining a better future. Yet nothing truly changes because they never move beyond inspiration. Inspiration is only the spark, action is the fire that keeps the dream alive. A positive mindset gives you the confidence to begin, but disciplined action gives you the ability to finish. Every successful person understands this principle. They don't simply believe success is possible, they prove that belief through consistent effort every single day. No matter how talented you are or how big your vision may be, your future will always be determined by what you repeatedly do, not by what you occasionally think. Every small action taken today becomes another brick in the foundation of the life you want to build tomorrow. One of the biggest reasons people fail to reach their goals is because they expect immediate results. They want to exercise once and instantly become healthy. They want to start a business today and become successful next month. They want to practice a skill for a few days and perform like an expert. But life doesn't reward impatience, it rewards consistency. Every remarkable achievement is the result of countless ordinary actions repeated over time. Imagine water falling onto a rock. One drop seems powerless, but over months and years, those tiny drops can carve through solid stone. Your daily habits work the same way. Reading 10 pages every day may not seem life-changing, but over a year you've completed multiple books. Exercising for 30 minutes each day may not transform your body overnight, but over time it completely changes your health. Success belongs to those who respect the power of consistent effort, even when the progress is too small for others to notice. There will be many days when motivation disappears. You won't always wake up feeling excited or inspired. There will be mornings when your goals seem distant, your energy feels low, and quitting appears far more comfortable than continuing. Those are the moments that reveal your true character. Anyone can work hard when they feel motivated, but champions continue working even when motivation fades. They understand that discipline is more reliable than emotion. Emotions change every day, but commitment remains steady. Instead of asking themselves whether they feel like taking action, they remind themselves why they started in the first place. They know that success is built on the days when no one is watching, when applause is absent, and when the only thing pushing them forward is the promise they made to themselves. Those quiet moments of discipline create the extraordinary results the world eventually celebrates. Positive thinking also changes the way you respond to setbacks during your journey. When you believe in your ability to succeed, you stop viewing mistakes as evidence that you should quit. Instead, you see them as valuable lessons that help you improve. Every failure becomes feedback instead of defeat. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity to become wiser, stronger, and more resilient. Imagine learning to ride a bicycle. Falling is not proof that you'll never ride. It is simply part of the learning process. Yet in adulthood, many people forget this lesson. They fail once and immediately convince themselves they are incapable. Successful people think differently. They expect challenges because they know every meaningful goal requires growth, and growth always involves discomfort. Their positive mindset allows them to stay focused on the destination instead of becoming discouraged by temporary detours. Another powerful truth is that your actions influence your mindset just as much as your mindset influences your actions. Many people wait until they feel confident before taking the first step. But confidence is rarely created through waiting. Confidence grows through action. Every time you keep your promises to yourself, your self-belief becomes stronger. Every completed task proves that you are capable of more than you previously imagined. The smallest victories create momentum, and momentum creates lasting confidence. That's why successful people don't wait for perfect circumstances or perfect feelings. They simply begin. They understand that progress creates motivation far more effectively than motivation creates progress. Every action sends a message to your mind that says, I am becoming the kind of person who follows through. Over time, that identity becomes stronger than fear, doubt, or hesitation. As you move toward your dreams, remember that greatness is not built through occasional bursts of effort, but through daily commitment to becoming better than you were yesterday. There will always be distractions trying to steal your focus, excuses trying to justify inaction, and setbacks trying to test your determination. But every time you choose discipline over comfort, action over procrastination, and persistence over surrender, you move one step closer to the life you deserve. Positive thinking gives you the vision to believe your dreams are possible, while consistent action transforms those dreams into reality. The combination of these two forces is unstoppable. When your mind believes in success and your actions reflect that belief every single day, you create a momentum that no obstacle can permanently stop. That is how ordinary people accomplish extraordinary things. One positive thought, one disciplined action, and one determined day at a time. The most important conversation you will ever have is not with your family, your friends, your boss, or the people around you. It is the conversation you have with yourself every single day. From the moment you wake up until the moment you fall asleep, your inner voice is constantly shaping your confidence, influencing your decisions, and determining how you respond to life's challenges. If that voice constantly reminds you of your failures, weaknesses, and mistakes, it slowly convinces you that you are incapable of achieving greatness. But if that same voice becomes a source of encouragement, belief, and determination, it has the power to transform your entire future. Long before the world believes in you, you must first believe in yourself. Your inner voice can either become the strongest foundation beneath your dreams or the heaviest weight holding them down. The choice belongs to you every single day. Most people don't realize how powerful their own words are because they speak to themselves without paying attention. They casually say things like, "I'm not good enough, I always fail, I'll never succeed," or "this is just who I am." At first, these seem like harmless thoughts, but when repeated day after day, they become deeply rooted beliefs. Eventually, those beliefs begin controlling your actions. If you constantly tell yourself that success is impossible, you stop trying before you've truly begun. You hesitate, avoid opportunities, and settle for less because your mind has already accepted defeat. But imagine replacing those negative statements with empowering ones. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you say, "I can learn this." Instead of saying, "I'm not ready," you remind yourself, "Every expert was once a beginner." Those simple changes may seem small, but over time they completely reshape your confidence, your actions, and ultimately your destiny. Your inner voice becomes even more important during difficult times. Anyone can speak positively when life is easy, but true character is revealed when everything seems to be falling apart. There will be moments when you experience rejection, failure, disappointment, or unexpected setbacks. During those moments, your mind will naturally search for an explanation. If your inner voice is filled with negativity, it will convince you that failure is permanent and that your dreams are unrealistic. But if you have trained your mind to respond with strength, you'll remind yourself that setbacks are temporary, lessons are valuable, and every challenge is preparing you for something greater. The words you speak to yourself during your hardest moments often determine whether you quit or continue. Champions are not people who never experience doubt. They are people who refuse to let doubt become louder than their determination. One of the greatest habits you can develop is intentionally feeding your mind with empowering thoughts every single day. Your mind is like a garden. If you neglect it, weeds naturally grow. Negative thoughts, fear, insecurity, and self-doubt begin spreading without effort. But if you consistently plant seeds of confidence, gratitude, discipline, and belief, those positive thoughts eventually become stronger than negativity. Read books that inspire you. Listen to messages that challenge you to grow. Surround yourself with people who encourage your potential instead of criticizing your ambition. Most importantly, become aware of the words you repeat to yourself. Every encouraging thought is another seed planted in the garden of your future. Over time, those seeds grow into habits. Those habits build character, and that character creates a life that reflects strength instead of fear. Think about every successful person you've ever admired. Before they received applause from the world, they first had to overcome criticism within their own minds. There were moments when no one believed in them, when their progress was slow, and when quitting would have been easier than continuing. What kept them moving wasn't external validation. It was the ability to encourage themselves when no one else did. They became their own coach instead of their own critic. They understood that confidence is built by keeping promises to yourself, speaking with honesty and encouragement, and refusing to define yourself by temporary failures. Every time they faced another obstacle, Their inner voice reminded them that they were stronger than the challenge before them. That mindset gave them the courage to keep moving long after others had given up. Success always begins with mastering the voice inside your own head before trying to influence the world around you. As you continue pursuing your dreams, never underestimate the incredible power of your inner dialogue. Every morning, you have an opportunity to choose words that build you instead of break you. Speak to yourself with the same patience, kindness, and encouragement that you would offer someone you deeply care about. Remind yourself that growth takes time, mistakes are part of learning, and your current circumstances do not define your future. Every positive thought strengthens your resilience. Every empowering belief increases your confidence. Every encouraging word moves you one step closer to becoming the person you're created to be. The world will always have opinions about who you are and what you can achieve, but none of those opinions are more powerful than the voice you choose to believe. Master that voice, fill it with courage and possibility, and you will discover a strength that can carry you through every obstacle and toward every dream you dare to pursue. As you leave today, remember this one truth: your future is not determined by your past, your circumstances, or the obstacles standing in your way. It is determined by the way you think, the choices you make, and the actions you take every single day. Positive thinking is not about ignoring reality. It is about believing that no challenge is greater than your ability to overcome it. Every great success story began with someone who refused to let fear, doubt, or failure have the final word. The same power exists within you. When you choose to focus on solutions instead of problems, replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones, combine optimism with consistent action, and master the voice inside your mind, you become unstoppable. Don't wait for the perfect moment, because that moment may never come. Start today. Take the first step with confidence, no matter how small it seems. Believe in your potential even when no one else does. Stay disciplined when motivation fades. Keep moving when progress feels slow. One day, you'll look back and realize that the decision to change your mindset was the moment your entire life changed. Your dreams are waiting, your potential is limitless, and your greatest chapter has yet to be written. Stand up, believe bigger, think stronger, act boldly, and show the world what becomes possible when an ordinary person commits to an extraordinary mindset. Your success story begins now.